What if one AI tool could replace your slide software, spreadsheet tool, website builder, design app, and even your email assistant? Genspark positions itself as an all-in-one AI workspace. You may have seen it featured during the Super Bowl. It reportedly hit $155 million in annual run rate in under a year. So I wanted to test it out myself. Before we dive in, this video is sponsored by Genspark. Let's see how it actually works. Start by heading to the link at the bottom of the screen. This brings us to the homepage. At the top is a single input box where you can ask anything or create anything. That's the main entry point. This is also referred to as the super agent, which leverages multiple models and tools behind the scenes to generate its responses. For example, you can ask it to analyze data and then build a pitch deck all within one prompt. Think of it as an even more advanced version of ChatGPT. We'll test it in a moment. Below that are all of the core agents. We have slides, sheets, docs, developer, designer, chat, image, and more. You can also access these from the left sidebar. We'll walk through several of them in a moment. Each agent specializes in a specific type of task. Back here on the homepage, let's click into All Agents. Here, you'll see a complete list of all available agents. At the top, you have Advanced Agents, and if I scroll down towards the bottom, you'll also see that we have Basic Agents. Now, Basic might look simple, but they're also very powerful. For example, here, I'll click on AI Chat, and this opens up a familiar AI Chat interface. Except, down here, we can click on this dropdown, and you can choose which model you want to use. At the top, we have ChatGPT, you have Claude, Gemini, and down at the bottom, we also have Grok. For roughly the same cost as subscribing to a single AI model, you get access to all of them right from here in one place. In the top left-hand corner, let's click on Back. Down at the bottom, let's also click into AI Image. And just like we saw with AI Chat, here too, I could choose from many different models. Now, this year, AI Chat and AI Image are unlimited with paid plans. Over on the left-hand side, you'll also find an AI Inbox. Here, we have a Project Hub and also a Drive. So that way, everything you create stays organized inside this workspace. Think of this as your operating system for work. Let's start with the Super Agent prompt box back on the main screen. In the top left-hand corner, let's click on this icon to go back to home. At the Kevin Cookie Company, I need to decide whether expanding nationally makes financial sense. To help me with that, I have 12 months of sales data right here. I can drag that data directly into Genspark, and then I can type in, analyze this sales data, and determine whether national expansion makes financial sense. Along with that, I also want it to generate supporting charts and then summarize the key insights. Once you type in your prompt, down here, let's submit that. This triggers what they call the super agent. Instead of relying on one model, it routes the task across different tools behind the scenes and assembles the result. In just a few moments, here we get a recommendation on how we should proceed with this national expansion. Here, I can see things to monitor, arguments for expansion. I can see all the different key financial metrics, and up above, we have a number of different beautiful charts analyzing all of the data. This is really powerful analysis. Now, if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see this icon. I'll click on this to copy the output. That way, we could use this later when we pull together a pitch deck. This is the high-level summary. Now, let's open it inside AI Sheets so we can explore the data directly. To get to AI Sheets, over on the left-hand side, let's hover over New, and right here, let's click on AI Sheets. This drops us into Sheets, and over on the right-hand side, you'll see a familiar spreadsheet interface. Let's start by pasting in the data that we would like to analyze. Over here, I have all that same revenue data. Now, traditionally, I would go through and I would manually build out formulas or pivot tables, but instead of doing that, in the bottom left-hand corner, I could simply ask. So right over here, what's the month-to-month and annual revenue growth and forecast the next 12 months under national expansion? Now keep in mind, to do this in the past, it would take me a little bit of time, but now I could simply submit this. Let's try it. Over on the right-hand side, it's now finished its analysis. Right over here, I can see growth rates and also the corresponding visuals. Now right down below, it also generated a second sheet. I'll click into that, and here it pulled together projections if we expand. Here, we can see what those look like. Now, what's nice is this isn't just static output. If I click into the table, you'll notice that it uses formulas behind the scenes. So that way, if I update any of this data, the tables and the charts will update as well. It's a real spreadsheet. It's not just a summary. Now, if I want to export this back into Excel, in the top left-hand corner, I could click on this export button and then I could download it in Excel format. It'll preserve all the formulas, the formatting, the charts. That way, I still have a fully functional spreadsheet. Now, based on this, the growth looks strong, so I think expansion seems financially viable. Now that we understand the numbers, let's turn this into a pitch deck. Over on the left-hand side, let's hover over New, and then let's switch into AI Slides. Here, I can choose between professional and also creative modes. Since I'm pulling together an investor presentation, I think going with professional probably makes sense. Right up on top, I could type in my presentation topic. I'd like to build a 5-slide investor pitch deck for national expansion, using the analysis below. And right down here, I'll paste in the output that I got earlier from the super agent. Then, over here, let's click on Submit. Over on the right-hand side, I can now see a live preview of this presentation. Here we have the cover slide. I scroll down, we have the growth story. And this is using all the different charts and the analysis that I pulled together using the super agent earlier. Here we have a few more slides, and at the very end, we have the investment thesis and recommendation. All in all, I think this looks really beautiful, and it helps me save a lot of time. To make any edits to this presentation, in the bottom left-hand corner, I could type in a prompt right here, and then I could submit it. If I'd like to make more targeted updates to this deck, right up on top, I could click on AI Edit, and over here, I can mark and edit. So let's say I'd like to just update, let's say the title, or maybe this number and the formatting of the top slide. There I could highlight all of it, and then I could type in a prompt down below, and it'll focus on this specific area. Now, if I want to go in and edit text on my own, or maybe make some layout changes, in the top right-hand corner, we could click into what's called Advanced Edit. And when I do that here, I could edit any of this text, or I could move items around. I could even insert other items. So I have full control over what this presentation looks like. In the top left-hand corner, let's go back to the AI slides. In the top right, once I'm all ready, I could click on this dropdown, and here we could present directly from Genspark. I could also export, and if we go down to the bottom, this is a really fun feature. You could even create an AI narrated video with podcast style commentary for this presentation. That's a fun one. Now, what normally would take me hours outlining, designing layouts, formatting slides, building charts, now happens in just minutes. Now that we have the strategy and the pitch deck in place, let's build the marketing assets for the national launch. To do that, over on the left-hand side, let's hover over New, and let's switch into AI Image. Here on the AI Image page, right up on top, you can choose the model. Now, Nano Banana Pro works very well, so I'll select that. You could also configure various settings, you could select a style, and then you also have a variety of different camera settings. I'll stick with the defaults. Right down below, I'll type in my prompt. I want premium packaging for the Kevin Cookie Company national rollout. Now, one thing to call out, AI Image is unlimited for paid members this year, so that way you could generate as many variations as you want. Once you finish typing in your prompt, let's go ahead and submit that. I like it. That's very cool. Let's try refinements. Right down below, I'll type in incorporate this logo into the box, and then I'll also upload the logo from my computer. And let's put it on a rustic wooden table instead of this marble background. Then let's try that. Very cool. It incorporated the logo, and it also placed it on a rustic wooden table. Now, the nice thing is I didn't have to start from scratch. Instead, I could continue refining an existing image that I had. Now, I'd like to turn this into a short promotional video. So over here, I'll check this box, and up on top, we have the option to generate a video. Let's click on that. Over on the left-hand side, here we could choose the video model, lots of different options, and we have a variety of different settings that you can configure. Now, right down below, I'll type in my prompt. I simply want it to be a promotional launch clip, maybe with a little bit of smooth motion zoom and product focus. Then let's send that. Over on the right-hand side, let's preview. Now that the branding and the marketing assets are ready, let's build the website to support the national launch. To build a website, over on the left-hand side, let's hover over New, and let's try out the AI developer. Here, we can choose a starting point. I'll pick a simple website or web app. I think that'll be perfect for landing pages and just an e-commerce style site where we want something production ready, but not overly complex. I'll click here, and then let's select Start Building. Over on the left-hand side, I could type in my prompt. I'll type this in, basically just a simple website for the Kevin Cookie Company, and then let's try submitting that. In minutes, it generates a full website structure. Here we have the homepage, and This looks beautiful. What a nice looking website. Now, right up on top, it also generates all of the subpages. Here we have an about page. We also have a shopping cart, checkout. Here we have a confirmation page for when someone submits an order. And look at that animation. So cool. Now, right up on top, we could even jump into the File Explorer. And here we see all the different files associated with this website. We could download them, or right up on top, we could even publish if we want to deploy directly from Genspark. Now, normally this would take a significant amount of effort and also likely require some coding. But here, I just described the outcome and it builds the structure automatically. Then I could continue refining with additional prompts. Now, instead of juggling a website builder, a design tool, or a copy editor, everything happens here in this one workspace. At this point, we've gone from analyzing data to building strategy to designing the brand all the way to launching the website, all within one AI system. And everything that we've created is saved automatically. In the top left-hand corner, we can click on this icon to open up what's called the task list. And here we can see all of our previous chats and projects. Right here, I have the spreadsheet analysis. I have the slide deck. Here, we have the website that we just built. All of this is here in one place. That way, I could jump back into any step without needing to start over. It looks like my boss just sent me an email asking for an update on our national expansion. Instead of typing a response, I'll use Speakly. Speakly is a voice-to-text AI tool from Genspark that turns natural speech into polished professional writing. On the very bottom of the homepage, you'll see Speakly. Let's click on that. And right here, you could choose your platform. Go ahead and install it. Once it's installed, you can activate it by holding down the right Alt key and then just speak naturally. Let's test it out. Hi, Patty. We've made strong progress. Let's see. We analyzed the data, built a pitch deck, created brand assets, and even developed a website. And we did it all in an afternoon. Cheers, Kevin. Look at that. Speakly converts it into a clean, professional email automatically. If you listen carefully, it removed filler words, it improved some of my phrasing, and it structures the message properly. Now, right down below, let me add a few more rough lines to this. Now, I'm going to highlight the entire message here, and then let's hold down the Alt key again to launch Speakly, and let's see if it can polish it all. Can you polish this message? And just like that, Speakly rewrites the entire message into a clean, professional update, and all I had to do was ask. Now, here's something even more interesting. Patty, my manager, is Spanish, so I think that would really impress her if I sent this message in Spanish. So over here, let's highlight all the text of my response right there, and then I'll hold the Alt key, translate this message into Spanish. Let's see what it comes back with. And there, it instantly converts the entire email into polished Spanish. Very cool. Another useful shortcut, you can double press the Alt key, and that'll quickly activate the Genspark agent. And right down below, you can then enter in a prompt. Now, because Speakly integrates at the operating system level, you could use this to dictate into documents, slides, or even create prompts inside Genspark just by using your voice. As we expand nationally, we need to confirm bulk pricing with suppliers. Now, instead of making those calls myself, I can use the Call for Me feature. Back within Genspark, over on the left-hand side, let's hover over New, and at the very bottom, let's click on Call for Me. At the top of this prompt, let's click on Contact. Right up on top, I could enter in the name of the company that I'm calling, and also the phone number that I would like to call. Then down below, I could type in the purpose of the call. I want to get the pricing for bulk butter purchases. The AI voice agent will now handle the call and provide a summary afterwards. I want it to call now, and down below, let's place the call. Once the call is all done, I get a transcript of the conversation along with a summary of what was discussed, and I could even play back the call.
Share the current price per pound.
$2.97.
Got it. I'll record that.
So instead of spending time on hold, I can delegate routine phone calls and focus on higher level decisions. All of that happened inside one workspace. Instead of switching between separate tools for spreadsheets, slides, design, video, development, and communication, everything runs in one place. You can start with free credits, and in 2026, AI Chat and AI Image are unlimited for paid members, including access to top-tier models. If you want to test it out for your own workflow, I've included a link in the description. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.